This is the 5 Point Play Podcast, the diehard Duke basketball fans podcast. Got the starting five tonight. My main man, Jack, fresh off the Eagles' loss
Unfortunately,
to
but
the
you know what?
Commanders. To the Commander? Really?
T-
We had
Third
our
stringers.
backups, and we didn't care about that game.
I'm blaming Keely Ringo for that
we
loss.
lose
and
to
moving
Washington
on.
once a year anyway. It's tradition.
It's true, and it's always stupid. It's
Well,
always a
it's,
stupid loss.
it's just as stupid for Washington to win that
They
game.
only lost one spot in the draft, is what all
yeah.
of their fans are saying, and they're bragging online.
Well, they don't have much, so that makes sense. We got Coach P. P stands for Paul's Pablo in the house. Got my man DH, and then the Godfather AC. Two solid wins, I guess. I don't know if solid's the right word, right? But they're gritty wins because when you have two teams that played way above their pay grade, one in being Georgia Tech at Cameron after a 10-day layoff for Duke, and then going down to Tallahassee yesterday where they just shot like the prime Warriors. But finding ways to win is really what this team is about. We've talked about that in this podcast before where again, it's going to be a broken record. I don't know how good we are, but I know that this team knows how to win, and each one of these experiences that we're going through is just going to pay dividends later in the season, and then obviously in March. But AC in the last 25 games in the ACC, John Shire is 24-1. So I don't care if the conference is up,
Should be
down,
25
medium.
and
It
0.
doesn't make any difference. Like that's insane. That's an insane run. So credit to him, credit to the players, obviously. But just a kind of a quick overview of what you've seen in the last two games to kick off conference play.
Yeah, I mean the team obviously defensively is not the same as it was to start the season. Different looks on defense. I think we're trying some different things now. The cat kind of was let out of the bag with all the attention that our switching was getting. Not that other coaches didn't see it. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, oh wow, some dude on Twitter said we switched, so now I got to look at that. Like they were already looking at that and already devising against it. And switch defense is, if you have the personnel to do it, you can work against switch defense kind of on the fly, more so than just about any other style of defense. So while it works really well, we do have to be able to play something other than switch, which is you see John's working on. You see we're playing zone, we're playing straight man sometimes, we're playing ball denial man. So it'll be interesting to see what we settle in on, what we figure out works for this team. That's a lot of points to give up to Florida State and Georgia Tech, and like you said, they shot above their pay grade, but we helped that a little bit. But we don't, when you don't play, a lot of times you don't play defense for 40 minutes. A lot of times you got to play defense when it counts. And this team was able to get stops when it counted. So I was happy to see that. But you definitely would like to see the team play a better brand of defense moving forward, which I think they will. I think they'll figure it out and settle in on something. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the defense a little bit here. But, Pobbs, talk a little bit about the offense. I feel like we definitely talked about this during the Georgia Tech game, where it took us a little bit of time to, and maybe some of that is the 10-day break, but kind of talk about what you're seeing from the offensive side of the ball for Duke and how they can, obviously Slim, has the game that we've been waiting on for him against Florida State. But in these two games, offensively, what have you seen from Duke, or what would you like to see them do going forward?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think what we're seeing is kind of rare because, you got multiple guys struggling, that we really didn't really expect to struggle, that we kind of expected to excel in Dame Sarr and Nick Kamenia, even though Dame broke out this last game. But, he had been struggling. I think Nick is struggling big time. I'm not sure what they got going on or whatever. And, we just got to get guys. We just got to get guys going. I mean, obviously the offense is going through Cam, and rightfully so. And people are just there. Everybody else is just eating off of what he's doing. I think that's a great recipe. But all the while, these guys still got to make shots, and so we need guys to really just make shots because it seems as if like the team is just, some of these guys are just, they're playing hard, man. They're just not playing smart. Some of these turnovers, man, that I'm seeing is like throwing the ball like right to the team. You know what I mean? Like catching the ball, fumbling it, getting it tipped out of their hands, just not playing too strong. But what I really like, though, I like the change that Shire made, putting Caden in the starting lineup. I think that's been able to free up Caleb a lot and have him do his natural thing. What he does is the ball, even though he's not like out there gunning and trying to score 20 or whatever, but he's getting in double digits almost every game, and it's like that's the Caleb that we really need. And I think that was a huge adjustment, especially for a game like the last one we played against FSU that plays really, really tough defense and a pressure type defense. So they needed 2 ball handlers out there. Pause. But overall, man, the offense is decent, man. I mean, I'm not overly concerned with it, but I do believe that we probably should play to our strengths, and our strengths are obviously on the inside. I wouldn't even be mad if John just, passed, if we threw the ball inside almost on every play, and see if our big guys Big Pat can make plays, based on that, or just be really aggressive and score at the basket. Cause just think about how dominant Cam is on the block. He dominated Florida, Tennessee. Texas Tech. He dominated almost anytime he went. Like if he's on the block, he's scoring almost at will. Literally at will. Like nobody could stop him. They're not strong enough to guard him. They might have the athleticism or whatever and the length on them, but they don't have the strength majority of the times. They don't have the brains to guard him. So it's like, why are we not playing to our strengths? I don't know. I know that they want to do the 5-out thing, and the 5-out thing is great. Don't get me wrong. Who am I to question, him on our 5-out offense? But I believe that we could simplify things by just passing the ball and playing, inside out a little more, in my opinion.
Yeah, DH, go to you here. So I think that obviously Pop brings up a lot of good points. One of the things that I found a little bit frustrating during the Florida State game is obviously we've seen this a lot during the season, is that as soon as Cam touches the ball, it's almost an automatic double. And so it wasn't until I think it was Dame Saw cut to the lane at the end of the first half, where it's just like that is open. It's open every time. And so it's just like, what are the coaches telling him? What are you seeing from your eye that can say, okay, let's simplify this thing for it? And especially if this Dame played so well yesterday. Unfortunate that particular play didn't get capitalized on, but at the same time, you start to see things, gelling a little bit. What would you like to kind of see? Because obviously the game plan is out right now for how you're going to play Cam.
Yeah, the game plan seems to be front Cam in the post, and then you sell out 2 passes away in help. So a lot of what happened was on, let's say on this left side of the floor, they have a guy at the top of the key, and then a guy on the wing, and you have Cam down low. They're fronting that pass, and then the guy 2 passes away, let's call it Dame's corner or Caleb's corner on the opposite side, they're sinking way, way down, almost to the restricted area to take away that entry pass. And in the past, what Duke would do is they would flash Pat up to the free throw line and try to get that angle. The problem with that is that brings another defender. And so now there's no room in the lane to do that. And then if you do get the ball to him, they are doubling him on like high post entry. They're doubling him on the spin move, which is the scout. Sit on his left shoulder so that when he spins back right, you'll be right there to take the ball away. And it's been pretty effective. And I think that teams will continue to do that. To your point, TK, what Duke tried to do, at least later in the first half and a lot more in the second half, whether it's Dame, whether it was Isaiah got a few good looks off of this, is they 45 cut, which was off the ball when the folks' heads are turned toward Cam, the opposite guy will just streak directly to the basket. Malik got a few looks that way. So I think that it's going to be important for Duke to get a lot more off-ball movement and go to the rim to ease some of that pressure. Because then what happens is Cam is such a great passer is that opposite corner 3 is going to be open all game. And Dame hit a lot of them. Isaiah hit a lot of them. And so the understanding the difference in like mixing in with Shire, the opportunities where you can get to the rim and opportunities where you can shoot that open 3. I think Duke got 3 happy, particularly with Georgia Tech. I think they shot like 32 threes and hit 9 of them. And I think that we took much better threes against Florida State and we hit a decent percentage of them. So I definitely want to see Duke be a little bit more strategic in how to get the ball inside. And then when we do get that post entry, Cam has really good hands. He's able to finish, but it's going to take some off ball movement, to your point, TK, to really make teams, particularly if they're being aggressive, make them really pay for it.
Yeah, Jack.
Can I add something to that really quick? Yeah, just to add to what DH was saying, I don't know if like if you really break it down and you really look at it too. So when Cam is when they're trying to take away that when fronting Cam, right, and they're trying to take away the high low pass or the the pass when he's 45 cutting and trying to take away that angle, what Duke has done, I don't know if you guys noticed, but their best baseline shooter has been Dame Sarr. Now they know Slim could hit from absolutely anywhere, so he's always going to be guarded. They don't know that about Dame Sarr yet. That's why they are putting Dame Sarr in the corner the way they're putting him in the corner. And so when Big Pat is trying to lob the pass over, if it's guarded too good, he just makes the next level read, which is to the corner. Dame Sarr open 3 buckets. You know what I mean? That's a very, very, very smart observation by John Shire. And that's the little things like that people don't give him credit for, but it's the things that if you have an eye, you can see what he's doing out there, and that's definitely kudos to him, man. And as long as Dame Sarr is shooting like that, we're good. Because if you put Deron or Slim in the corner, they're going to be guarded for sure, because they know they're flamethrowers. You know what I'm saying? People are still trying to figure out Dame, so it's kind of good that Dame is coming along slowly. You know what I mean? It's kind of paying dividends for Duke. And it's giving people a different look, and it's giving them a different, identity on offense sometimes, depending on what the offensive scheme is and what they're running. So that's just there's one little small thing that I noticed that I just wanted to add to that.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up Dame Sarr, Jack, to you, because honestly, against Georgia Tech, I think that his numbers honestly offensively weren't there. But you could kind of see a little bit of the light coming on for him. And then obviously when he goes to Florida State and plays lights out, that's kind of the Dame Sarr that we all expect. So I was going to ask you, do you think that the performance that he just put on Florida State, is that kind of what's going to get him over that, freshman wall, the transfer wall, the Euro wall, whatever it's going to be, to kind of get him going? To kind of be that third, fourth, fifth option that if you have a Dame Sarr, we already know his prowess on defense, but if he's going to add that extra layer offensively, Duke's going to be extremely difficult to beat once we figure it all out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think the big thing that a lot of people haven't realized is that Dame is shooting over 50%, I believe, from the corner this year. And that is, he is, I mean this with the most respect possible. I'm very high on Dame Sarr. I have been for a while. I think we really started to see this turnaround in his play in the Texas Tech game. Even if he was limited to 10 minutes, he had 9 points. He had 3 threes. He was playing really strong defense. He is abysmal above the break on threes. He is, I think it's something like 12%.
It's true.
It's not great, but he is above 50% from the corners, which makes him an above average 3-point shooter, all things considered, given the volume of threes he shoots in the corners. And, that's a new wrinkle that teams are going to need to consider now. It's going to open up some driving space because they're going to have someone face guarding Sarr, at least in the corners. And if he figures it out from above the break, you're screwed. It's going to be really fun, I think, from here on out. I think, again, it does add a wrinkle to the offense, especially, you need him defensively, especially at this point in the year. So I'm excited to see this. I want to keep seeing him get anywhere between like 9 and 15 points a game. I think that's kind of the Goldilocks zone for him.
Yeah, I think that's right. And, kind of open this up, AC. It's trying to figure out, okay, now another wrinkle is kind of uncovered there. Am I expecting Dame Sarr to shoot 3 or 4 from 3 every night? No. But at the same time, what I'm looking at is, okay, Slim is finally off the schneid, right? Like he's ready to go. It was only a matter of time for him. And so that check box, that's a checkbox, right? So we already know what Cam's going to do. That was we talked about this in another podcast, right? Where that's his bad game. 17, 9 assists, 6 rebounds.
Mhm.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Nice. That's right.
That's his bad game. So, what
Yeah.
other wrinkles can we expect over the next couple of weeks? Because we always talked about, okay, mid-January, late January, early February. Once, John's kind of
Mhm.
like slowly developing this thing, and it can be frustrating as a fan a lot of times. We don't see everything that's happening behind closed doors in the gym. But what do you think those next couple of wrinkles, if you had to predict, are going to be for John?
I'd love to see. So I'm going back to defense. Kind of where I started before. I'd love to see us turn some of the switching that we do into trapping. I think we have the team size to be able to trap. I think we have the team athleticism to be able to trap. And when you have guys like Malik Brown and Dame Sarr on the floor at the same time, like defensively, that's a nightmare when you're able to trap high, force our offense higher above the free throw line, and make them work. I'd love to see that little adjustment be made, because I really do think that this team, for as good of the defenders individually that we have, we really don't create a lot of turnovers still, for a team that really could. And we're not going to get a lot of shot blocks. We don't have that kind of a center who's going to be blocking a bunch of shots.
I don't know. AC's muted for me.
Yeah, same.
I can't hear him.
I also
AC,
cannot
we
hear
can't
him.
hear you, AC.
Can't hear AC. So
Your mic. I think your mic went out, bro. Boy, you got that Hubert Davis mic.
Back. Did it go
There we
in the
go.
middle of me talking?
Yeah,
It
right in
did.
the middle of you talking.
You're talking about trapping, and we have
What y'all
the
hear?
individual.
What was the last thing you heard?
Yeah, you're talking about how trapping.
Okay. Anyway, I'd like to see us trap more. We don't have shot blockers, like textbook shot blockers. We have a lot of offside shot blocking at times.
Mhm.
We don't have a straight up Kamala watch type shot blocker. So for a team that has the defensive prowess that we could have, we don't turn teams over. I'd love to see us turn teams over a little bit more, make teams a little bit more stagnant up top, because right now they're just gunning on us because they know we're trying to switch. They're gunning on us in the middle of our switches. I'd love to see us turn those into traps. Outside of that, offensively, I don't know that I would change much offensively other than what Pop said. Go to the interior when you know you can. I think John doesn't go to the interior right now because he knows he can. It was on display for the non-conference, especially in those big time non-conference games. So now it's development time. Get these other guys squared away. Get Caden squared away in the starting lineup with his group, especially kind of as the lead guard on ball, and kind of let things happen from there. I think you'll see him where in the past John hasn't really had a ball dominant point guard. I think that'll be another wrinkle you'll see is as Caden Boozer gets more comfortable. He's going to be a little bit more ball dominant, which is going to lead to a lot of floor spacing, because right now teams are starting to try to play drop coverage on us a little bit. So that'll spread the floor a little bit more.
yeah,
Can we really quickly just talk about the move John made to put Caden in the starting lineup? I think that first of all, I've been critical of Dame and Nick and their play. I will say that I think Nick is playing through an injury right now, and I think it's for the best that he either sits out a few games to get right.
They're also having typical freshman seasons. Like
they're also they are
freshmen.
also we are not. They're also they're freshmen. Sarr's never played American basketball before.
Mm-hmm.
He's away from the life he's known for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Nick is a freshman who is hitting the freshman wall and is also trying to play through an ankle injury.
Not practicing either.
Yeah. And, Seth Curry did that, but Seth Curry was a fifth-year senior. And also the son of a longtime professional basketball player. So it's not like he hadn't been exposed to that type of lifestyle before. That type of playing, all that. But I think, we needed to see John do something. It wasn't working with either of those two in the starting lineup, at least for the moment. Hopefully both of them are starting caliber, if not starting players by the end of the season. But I really think Caden just opens up so much. It allows Slim to play a little bit more of a true wing And it gives Caleb the ability to play on the ball or off the ball because Caden has shown some ability to be an off-the-ball player, even if it's not his strength, obviously. And, you know, it helps out with the chemistry he has with his brother, and he knows how to play. He knows how to play with Pat as more of a true center. And I think the biggest thing, though, is as we see this on the tape here, his drive and kick is really, really, really strong. And the fact that he's in the starting lineup, he's with these guys, it gives him that drive and kick ability. Even if Pat's in the paint, which I don't expect him to be much when Caden's doing something like that, it opens up so much for the offense, at least for the moment. And I think it was a decision that needed to be made sooner than later, and I'm glad John made it.
Yep.
And I'll add on to what Jack is saying too. I'll say that I think the best attribute about Caden is one that he's fearless. He's not afraid to make a mistake, but he plays with he plays with such balance, man. Like in his offensive game, right? He does a great job of being aggressive when he needs to be, and he knows when to pass the ball. He doesn't overdo a lot of things. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He can guard the ball. You know, he's a big player. He can guard the ball, and he's just got the right mix of knowing when to attack and when to chill. You know what I mean? When to just be a team guy and pass the ball, and when he needs to be aggressive on the break or in a pick and roll or whatever. He just does a great job at that.
Yeah, seeing him now, particularly in transition off of makes or misses, he seems to be one of the best guys in putting like rim pressure on the defense in transition. Like he will just go off of a make or a miss and just drive to the middle and just try to make a play. And I think I mentioned this before. I might have mentioned this on Spaces, but I think he's probably. I don't have the percentages. I don't have the juice to be able to get the synergy data. But I would dare say he's probably our like best 2-point like non-layup shooter because like his floaters and his pull-ups and like those like non-rim 2-pointers are probably something he's best at, and that's a shot that. Particularly against teams playing drop coverage and pick and roll or in transition, he makes really great decisions to Pablo's point. And that allows so many opportunities for easy buckets in transition. Isaiah on one end, driving kicks to Dame in the corner, a swing to Cam and, a cut from Malik or to Pat. Like there's just a lot of good things that happen with Caden being ball dominant, and it's really unlocked Caleb quite a bit too. I mean, Caleb had 12 against Tech and 13 against Florida State because he didn't have to worry about initiating the offense. He could just play, he just get the aggressive shots that he need. We've been asking him. I mean, this podcast has been asking him since last year to just be aggressive. The best Caleb is the aggressive, instinctual Caleb. And when he doesn't have to worry about running the offense necessarily, he's looked so much more comfortable than he has at any other time, I think, in his career at Duke. So knocking at three at a high clip. And so, definitely give Shire some credit with that Caden insertion into the starting lineup. And I think to both of y'all's point, AC and Pablo, I definitely think from an offensive standpoint, I think we're much. No, you're good. That's not my concern area either. I think the defense is my concern area as well.
That's what we were talking about right there. Go back one more time. I'm sorry. Go back one more time. He's Big Pat. They front Big Pat. He could have lobbed that over to him, but he could have. Let's see what happens.
Because that second defender is the baseline.
There you go, right there. Boom.
And so sold out to get. Yep. Number one sold out. It's a great shot.
And if the
same thing,
if the 3-point foul that Caden picked up at the end of the game was a foul, then that was a foul too.
Yes,
there's a few of those.
Absolutely, it was.
It's just so
that time they chose to go inside to Pat, and look what happened.
Good feet.
I just don't for the life of me, I don't understand why we aren't doing that shit every play. And that lob right there by Caden, that's what I mean.
I think because we need to.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's because we need to develop the outside more. Yeah, I think we're not going to develop the outside. My bad. I'm lagging. I'm lagging way behind.
I wanted to
okay.
ask. I wanted to ask about the defense because that was one of my concerns. Is with Caden being in the starting lineup, so it's kind of a two-part question for any of you guys. Is it going to take a little bit of time for us to adjust defensively now with the Caden Caleb backcourt defensively, and then secondly, do you see John making another adjustment in the starting lineup, or do you think this is his starting lineup going forward?
I think this is it.
I agree with that.
I think this is.
Yeah, I think that moving forward.
Yeah, I still would love to see Caden get a little bit more disciplined on ball, but he's not the reason that Duke's defense hasn't been great the last couple games, in my opinion. I think the issue has really been Pat and Cam in space against, Christian Anderson, the wing that had 20 from Georgia Tech and the guard that had 20 for Florida State. It's because Duke has decided to go away from switching 1 through 4, I think, to a certain extent. When they switch 1 through 4, they hunt Cam, and when they switch 1 through 5, they hunt Pat. And what happens then is, because Duke helps so deeply in the lane off ball, that drive and kick, they're getting more open looks than than Duke is used to giving. I think the adjustment is either A, Duke needs to help a little bit more shallow in the lane and just be okay with rim, maybe giving up some rim finishes if it means protecting 3-point line. But I know that one of John's principles is protecting the paint, right? So he's gonna have to make some decisions, and maybe trapping is the answer. Maybe switching less is the answer. Maybe I do think a defensive adjustment will be made to answer your question, TK. But I think it's going to be on a game-to-game, personnel-to-personnel type of situation and game flow. I also think if Duke plays a little more intensity on the defensive end, and it impacts the point of attack, I think it'll help a little bit better anyway. Like, I think there's just we just got a little bit lackadaisical with our point of attack defense, in my opinion. And I think that's an easy thing to figure out and shore up in a way that I think will be helpful for the team.
We're going to end up going back. Go ahead, Jack.
I agree, DH. I think the key is just they've been playing quite lackadaisically. It's also just a very fun word to say, but
it's a great word.
It really is. I think that's the key. They have been playing lackadaisical defense. I don't know if the exams really got in their head that much, because it's been since the exam break, or if something changed over that stretch.
I ain't blaming school on their defense. I can't blame school on their defense.
Somebody finna fail.
No way.
Somebody finna fail.
I want to ask though. I do want to ask the zone though. I like the zone. I like it as a wrinkle, but I don't want it to be like some kind of
not all the time.
Nah, it can't be
all the time.
We have the most obvious
situational
team comparison ever with this team, which is 2014 and 2015. The same thing was happening to that squad when we lost to Notre Dame and we lost to NC State, and teams were putting buckets on us the same way they are right now. What did John do? He went for an almost pack line defense. We stopped switching. We played our men straight up, and that was that. And I think that's exactly what's going to – that's like I said, it's either going to be this team is going to trap more and put more pressure on the ball up top, or we're going to sink back and just make you shoot against man almost like you would have to against the zone, where you play that pseudo pack line, no middle defense, stop giving everything up that we give up on the interior, and force you to shoot outside of your head.
With no actual rhythm.
That was their wrinkle. Disrupt the rhythm. That's what they did, and the rest was history with that squad.
Yeah, I think I think we might get to a point too where in a game, I don't think it's going to be permanent or whatever, but I think you're going to see them abandon switching as a whole, just depending on who we're playing against, and they're just going to stick to maybe shrinking the floor a little bit more and just playing in the gaps. You know what I mean? Where you're kind of where everybody's kind of like,
for real.
Yeah, for sure. Where everybody's kind of like one pass away. You know what I mean? And playing in the gaps and kind of stunting, you know what I mean? When people are driving instead of like the full sellout of like full switch. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, because when you do that, you can be out of position, just depending on how you do it, you know? So
Is
We
it
didn't have to
is
go
it
back to
crazy?
14-15. I chose 14-15. Sorry, Jack. Go ahead. I'm talking.
Is it
over
crazy to
everybody.
consider just having the guard switch and the big switch with each other, but not switch like guard to big or big to guard?
You can do that.
It's possible. Yeah.
The problem when you do that though is that things are happening so fast. If you're not
Yeah, you
communicating,
don't always
you're
know.
dead.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
dead every single
And
time if you're not.
that draws a lot of help when you do that. Like
Yeah.
I think the less help, the better with this team because we get out of position a lot. Look at last year, man, when Coop went down in the ACC tournament and what we did with the defense. That was just on the fly. Let's just play. let's not switch.
Just
not
find a
play
way to
safety.
win.
Just,
Right.
just play defense to win.
One of the things last year that I love so much about the way we played is that team was wise beyond their years in the way they communicated on the floor almost from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen the same thing from this team? Do you think? I mean, that's kind of a really high bar to compare them to, but at the same
I would say
time,
early in the year we did.
Yeah.
Early when things were
especially.
working. When things were working, but that's what last year we had the luxury of having Kama Malawatch, the ultimate eraser in the back. But then you had another eraser in a way in Cooper Flagg because of what he did as that free safety. That's two defensive erasers there. If somebody messes up, it covers it up. This year we're exposed a little bit defensively because we don't have that cover up. We don't have that free safety. We don't have that shot blocker. So those little cover up things that a lot of teams can employ, we don't have. So now we're really just kind of out on an island with how we're playing defense and choosing to play defense right now, which is I think why you're seeing what you're seeing with the evolution of the defense or de-evolution, I guess you could say, of the defense. But there's gonna have to be a change. Like John's not gonna accept this. He's not gonna say, okay, Georgia Tech scored 79, Florida State scored 87 on us. Like that's not acceptable. Like that's gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
This was a team that through December 6th had not allowed more than I think 75, I want to say 74 points in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And now they haven't allowed less than that.
Right. And it's not lack. I'm not putting on a lack of effort. I'm not putting it on exams. Like it's not, in my opinion, it's a schematic problem that's going to have to be worked out.
Yeah.
I think we got such a body of work out there too that people are dissecting this film.
Sure.
They're like, how are we going to beat this defense? They're trying everything. And so, some people have been successful. Some people haven't been. Those usually be the ones that we just blow out. So, I mean, it just is what it is. I'm not really worried about them because I think the difference between this year and last year was they just were so talented. You know what I mean? Like mistakes, even if mistakes happen, the talent will cover up the mistakes. This year
that team won a
they
lot
aren't
on
as talented,
talent.
but they communicate and they're like everybody out there is so cerebral, you know what I mean? And they're connected that, that's why the defense was so good. So they didn't rely on talent. They relied on more so on brains and, just really teamwork. So, yeah.
Now, one guy I wanted to touch on here before we move. before we move to our next segment is just Kalen Foster. How many shots at this point has he made in clutch moments? And I almost want to define clutch moments as like anything on the under 10-minute mark in the second half, where the game's within 5-6 points, and he's hit a big three. I mean, he did a couple of times in the last couple of games. I mean, just the transformation that Kalen Foster has done mentally from sophomore year to junior year, that should be studied, man. Like, I'm so proud of that kid for what he's done and how he's playing. And the key for me has always been when he makes a mistake, how does he respond? And this year, it is absolute next play mentality. It's like, cornerback in football where you get beat on one play, you throw it out and you just go to the next. Like, I want to talk about Kalen Foster because I think he doesn't get enough credit from a leadership standpoint that he probably should. Because there may not be a named captain, he may only be a junior. But what I'm seeing, because you talked about, I think DH, you talked about, the fact that maybe with Pops that when Caden's out there, when he does make a mistake, he doesn't let that, linger. He goes on to the next play. I feel like some of that has to also come from watching how Caleb works and how Caleb's been playing. So I think that can rub off as a leader to your basically your protege, where you're saying, hey, like, we're not going to let this bother us this year. We're going to. Quinn did a lot of that with Tyus, and I know Tyus' IQ was off the charts. But when you have a leader, an elder statesman, at your same position, showing you the ropes, that pays dividends, and I think that is another reason why the backcourt is now Caden and Caleb, and they will be starting the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with it all, man. Like, I'll just talk about him a little bit. I'll let you touch on him, but I'll talk about him. Pause. But
that's insane.
Man, I think I think you hit all the points that I felt like was necessary to talk about. I mean, just think about it. They compete and practice every day. They're around each other every day, so it has to be Paul's rubbing off on him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, that was crazy. But man, I'm happy for the kid, man. I think
100%.
He started out kind of shaky. I mean, he started out okay in the season, then he got kind of shaky.
First half of the first game.
Yeah, you started hearing those whispers again, and I know he probably was like, damn, here we go again. But he's a fighter. The kid is a fighter, man. And the kid is like Duke through and through, man. Like, I think if you cut his arm, his blood would be blue. Well, blood is blue, but you know what I mean? I think his blood would be Duke blue. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's him, man. Like, he's gonna fight, man. But I think his leadership, big shot making and everything, man. We've always had one. When we had a guy like that on our team, man, it usually leads to the national championship. So
that's true.
I'm happy in what I'm seeing, man. I'm super proud of the kid. I never in a million years thought he'd quit anything. I knew he wouldn't quit.
Yeah.
But it's just good to see him push through all kind of adversity, man. And I think that definitely gives Caden a boost too. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, what happened or whatever, what John saw or whatever the case may be. But I think the switch has been good because if you notice, like, Caleb is still handling the primary ball handling duties, but it's like once they get to the half court is where he kind of ventures off, and now he's at score mode. You know what I mean? Like, once he makes that initial pass, now his role completely changes to, hey, if you got a shot, take it, or get to the rim, make a play. You know what I'm saying? So it's just good to see, man. I'm happy for the kid. I can't say that enough. And salute to his parents, man. Like, you guys are doing a great job, keeping his head right.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So point guard is the one I wanted to transition to here. So we have another point guard coming in next year from the area that is just rich for Duke. Just rich for Duke, AC. Just talk about Deron Rippey, what we're getting. We talked about him a little bit. We talked about him a little bit in a couple podcasts ago, and obviously you guys did the live commitment show as well. So check that out if you haven't on YouTube. But let's talk about this again because he's a massive pickup for Duke.
Is he the first? Is he like the first inner city New York player that we've gotten to Duke?
I can't think of another one.
I can't think of another one, man.
Corey Maggette.
Chicago.
Was he from New York?
No. But he's from Chicago.
He's Chicago.
Him and Sean Dockery from Chicago. I'm talking about New York. Like, I want cast in New York. That's what I'm saying. Like,
New York.
Yeah, no, I don't know, big dog.
So happy, bro.
Yeah, gotta be.
We got a lot of jerseys.
I think he is, man.
Yeah. Exactly. We had some jerseys.
Andre Sweet's from Manhattan, but that's Manhattan.
Andre.
That's a little different than in the city.
Little different.
Well, it depends on what part of Manhattan, because I'm from Manhattan.
Right, depends on what part of Manhattan, right?
I'm from Harlem, though. You know what I'm saying? So if he's from Harlem, you know what I'm saying? That's inner city. You know what I'm saying?
He also only played at Duke for 1 year, so.
Yeah, he don't count.
No.
But I think he is. He has to be the first, like,
I swear
inner
he
city.
Is, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, inner city. Just
he's come along.
City, like, overall,
at least under K.
His family's come a long way, dog.
Yeah,
it's come a long way.
I love this pickup, man. I love the kid. He's gonna do great things at Duke. If John has his way, it'll be him and Jordan Smith, which I know a lot of people are freaking out about because it's two smaller guards or whatever. But
Jordan Smith has a 6'10" wingspan. That doesn't count.
Yeah, they play.
That doesn't count as small.
They play above 6'2".
He's also been on demon time this year.
Yeah. He's out proving points. People said he couldn't shoot and everything else.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
I want to just I'll leave it at this on Jordan Smith. He can dunk without a running start at 6'2". That should tell you all you need to know. He had that game
where he had multiple standstill dunks off 2 feet with two hands. Yeah. It's crazy. At 6'2", that's nuts.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's 6'2", but he's not 6'2".
That's nuts.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Sure.
It's nuts, dog. He's crazy. I love that kid, man. I love the way he plays. I love watching him play up here.
He follows me on Instagram.
Of
Getting
course,
Deron Rippey though is that's a big deal. That definitely
Big
is a
time
big
pickup.
deal.
That
And
is a fantastic grab.
depending on what Shire does with a point guard like that, that can open up a whole new market of players that you see coming to Duke as far as playing the point guard role. Because I think I tweeted this a couple of days ago. Because downhill Duke next year is gonna be crazy,
man.
And that's why I brought up. And that's why I
they
brought up the
getting
New
down.
York thing,
They
man.
getting at that rim, boy.
Man,
That's why I brought up.
That's gonna be crazy.
That's why I brought up New York, because Duke has such a presence in the city. We go to Madison Square every year. Like,
right.
If we can go into St. John's
Who's
backyard
the
and
last
start
New
taking
York
some of these
player we
kids,
got?
that's
Who
what
is
I'm
the
saying.
last New York player?
Like the New York State is AJ Griffin, but like
Oh, yeah.
New York
City?
City, that's what I mean.
You want an answer?
City,
I got
don't
an answer.
know,
I got an
bro.
answer. I looked.
What you got?
George Moses, who played for Bill Foster.
Gee whiz.
All right.
Oh, that was back
Is
in
he
your
still
day.
alive?
That's hey man.
Back in Jack's day.
Back in Jack's day.
Man, I said back in the day, not back in my day on that stream.
Oh no. That's not the bit though. That's not the bit.
To be fair though, New York basketball has been getting down for a few years. You know what I'm saying? They haven't really had a player like Deron Rippey. You know what I'm saying? Get heavily recruited. So it is what it is. And another thing too is like most of the players right now, especially in the city, they go into the Catholic schools and stuff like that. So they're leaving. They're either leaving the state or they're going upstate to New York. You know what I'm saying? So
which is fine.
Honestly,
right? Take that New York game and go get it refined at one of these Catholic schools and get right.
For sure.
I'm cool with it.
Sure.
That's what I mean, man.
It
opens up a whole new avenue that we have not explored under K in the past, under the old leadership. Like,
and what I would appreciate about
covering all corners.
Yeah, what I appreciate about Deron the most, Deron and his family, because shout out to his family, shout out to Deron Rippey Sr., that their whole entire family, because I had a chance to listen to I think Pro Insights did something for them, not a plug, but I have to give props where props are due. And they had like a quick interview after the commitment with Ron and his pops. And they, he talked a lot about one of the major things that got to me was number one, because he got kind of he got taken out of consideration. He didn't make the U.S. national team, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's been taking names ever since then. But them talking so much about like how he wanted to come to Duke and he wanted to compete for everything. Like, for me, those guys are the guys that like I tend to gravitate toward the most as far as players are concerned, because he understands that, listen, I want to be around talent. I want to have the opportunity to sharpen my skills to be able to go to the next level. I want to do something special, and I want to compete. Like I don't want you to just give me the keys. I think we know that by now. Shire has probably told him he's going to play immediately and contribute immediately, but everything else he's going to have to earn. I think that's what he and his family are looking for, and that just says a lot about who he is as a player, what kind of coaching he's had, and what kind of family he comes from. So. I mean, aside of the talent alone, the mindset is right in my opinion too.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I mean, just coming from where you come from, bro, like
exactly,
it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you've ever been to Brooklyn, but it's like Brooklyn, not like the good parts of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of people, they don't make it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Even in my neighborhood in Harlem, you know what I'm saying? We got dudes who was excellent, who I still see every now and then, you know what I'm saying, that probably should have played in the NBA. They just don't make it out, man. But shout out to Rippey and his whole family, man, because his dad is really doing a good job with him and making sure that, he's on the right path. And, it's a
really
reason why
seem like a great family.
It's a reason why he picked Duke. You know what I'm saying? It really is a reason why he picked Duke. Yeah. So, they want to play. They want to play for the best of the best.
Can't say.
And he said on the pod they're trying to get 2 more, man. So we'll see how that goes. Shout out to Shire. That's what he said. Pop said 2 more. I'm gonna say I'm gonna roll with him. Yeah, I'm gonna roll. Yeah, Sweego.
Is it sacrilegious this early to wonder, would this be John's best recruiting class?
It damn should be the most athletic.
I don't know if it's.
I think it's gonna be hard to beat last year's.
I'm about to say that class with Cooper, bro.
Sure,
that was.
You bring in Coop, Khan,
26
come on,
anyway.
Isaiah.
26 anyway is kind of down.
For the Cooper class, he should have got a felony. If he recruits this class that he thinks he's going to get now, he probably deserves the chair.
Yeah.
I just said everyone except Big Pat, so shout out Big Pat as well, of course.
Shout out to Big
And
Pat.
Darren. I can't believe I missed Darren. We've had him on the pod twice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Yo, Darren's time's on the way, man.
It is.
It's coming.
It's on the way, especially if
It was already there.
especially if Nick is really hobbled to the point where he's going to be less than effective. I think that you'll see some of Nick's minutes go to Deron. I think Darren's going to have opportunities to do a lot of the things that Nick, like the threat for corner three, easy. Pump fake, get to the rim, draw fouls, easy. Better free throw shooter on low volume, sure. Has the ability, I think he has the ability to make plays in a way that I don't think that we've seen at Duke. I think we saw a lot of it at PVI. I mean, anybody that watched that guy called Nationals, he was torching teams.
For sure.
And so I have as much Nick Jimenez stock as I still have, and I'm going to hold. I really think that Deron is going to have an opportunity in the next couple weeks to really, fixate himself in the rotation so that when Nick gets back fully healthy, we'll truly be 9 deep and not just like 8 deep with 5 minutes from 5 minutes to the halftime from Deron.
Yeah.
I think there's an opportunity for him here.
And they're going to need his shooting.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
That's the first thing I look at with Nick is struggling with the shot.
Exactly.
Even before the injury.
I was a little surprised in the last 2 games that Deron didn't get more burn because we needed his scoring, especially in the short that game. When we were struggling shooting, 1,000 threes in the first half, and making like 2 of them. So it just made sense to me that you put Deron in. But also, I think that he's improved immensely on the defensive end. He can obviously get a lot better, but at the same time, I do think he has a role, and I'd like to see John keep that bench, 4 guys on that bench instead of 2, really, because I understand you want to win the games, but it's also a long season, right? So Deron is going to be needed at some point, so I'd like to see him. He's got to stay the course, obviously. Anytime there's adversity, you gotta stay the course. But I like what I've seen from him in the minutes that he's gotten this year. So I'd like to see John go back to it a little bit. And like you said, and this is not. I hate to do this because this is not one of my pet peeves. But I'm not trying to put shade on Nick when I say this, but I do think Deron provides something that Nick is not providing right now. And whether that's his injury or whatever, I'd like to see Deron get some of those minutes because again, like Pablo said earlier in the show, Deron at least spaces the floor. You can't leave him.
I was about to say
better
the
not.
exact thing. He at least provides space.
Exactly.
Nick really doesn't right now.
Exactly, and I think eventually Nick will. Like you said, DH. If you're going to buy Nick Jimenez stock, is probably the lowest he's going to get.
Right now is the perfect time.
Yeah, now's the time.
Now, but I would also still buy Deron. I would still buy Deron right now because I do think that he's going to shock a lot of people, and I do think that he's going to score. So that's my personal opinion on it.
AC, I have a question. Remember last year, right before the Christmas break, and then just after, when Shire would put Pat in for spot minutes just to see what happens, and we were wondering why Pat didn't play more, and then all of a sudden, when the calendar turned to February into March, and all of a sudden we started seeing Pat more, and he was extremely productive. Do you think that the thought process is similar here, or do you think the circumstances are a little bit different?
No, I mean,
I know you've called this out last year. That's why I asked you.
Yeah, I think the development is similar. That's something I was going to say is just that anytime you see somebody produce and then they just all of a sudden disappear from the lineup, that's, in my opinion, that's a couple of things. It's not a regular rotation player yet. It's somebody who is John's looking to see who is going to take that 7 and 8 spot, or that 2nd and 3rd guard spot off the bench and everything else. And you're seeing it this year. You're seeing the switch off between Deron and Nick, and there's like TK just said, there's gonna be a switch. It is going to switch from Nick to Deron if Nick does not start to produce, because John's he's already proven that if somebody is playing better than you, then they will play. The last couple of games, I think that he didn't play as much because I mean, you kind of mentioned like Georgia Tech was standing around shooting, so why not put him in? Well, I mean, if you're going to put in another shooter, then you're just going to end up standing around shooting some more. So I think the last two games were more about defense. The last two games were more about defense more so than offense, because the offense still, as much as we're like, oh, the offense can change and get better and we can play inside out and everything else, the offense is still incredible. It's still incredibly efficient. We still really good offensively. We can put up as many points as we need to against anyone in the nation. So the last couple of games have definitely been about defense. So I think while we are kind of working on this defense thing, I think Deron's minutes are going to wane just a bit because he's not subbed for defense. He is subbing in for offense. Like that is what his job is. And whatever you get from him on that defensive end is gravy. And the kid's worked so hard on his defense. He's worked so hard on his game overall. Again, I keep saying it. It's like you have to almost look at him like a freshman more so than a sophomore or a veteran, because he didn't get minutes in big games last year at all. Like that wasn't his role last season. So this is his first year in game big minutes. You saw him struggle shooting against P5 competition. He was hitting all the shots against the mid majors early to start the season, and you saw it took a couple of games against those P5s for him to start hitting the shots. So I think his time is coming for sure. I would love for it to happen before that Michigan game, because I think the way Michigan plays defense, I think Deron can take advantage. But we'll see how that goes, man. I think that the next few practices are definitely going to be, the games are going to be telling as to what's happening in practice, because you know, based on who you see sub in first and everything else, I think that'll be indicative of what John is thinking right now. But again, it's January, still development month.
Well, the next game is at Louisville. It's one we circled from the beginning of the year. Jack, is Louisville still your squad, or? So obviously Louisville.
Every year, look at Jack.
They're. I was astray.
I've never liked Louisville, and but I was upset at Kenny Payne continuing to have a job after 1 year because it was bad for the conference. And frankly, it was a miscarriage of justice for all of college basketball.
Ooh, jeez. Wow.
Cook.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Cook, Jack. Cook, Jack.
Everybody get out of the way.
I'm coming.
All right. So we got a 7 p.m. Tuesday night at Louisville. Again, a game we've all circled on our calendars for the beginning. AC, break this game down for us real quick. We'll get into some predictions, but you know, this is a game I'd like to see Duke win. Obviously, I want to see us win alone, right? But this is a game that, you know, did we kind of take that next step? We got two gritty wins early in the conference. Now it's like, all right, here's our first big conference test on the road.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Brown plays or not. He didn't play last game against Stanford. They lost that game, obviously. It'll be interesting to see if he does play at all. I'm not sure if he is healthy enough to play. Regardless, they do have a decent team and playing at home, trying to get a win back. They're going to be hungry, man. They rely a lot on Conwell and McNeely, two smaller guards, but they're going to shoot the lights out again. They do the thing right now that this team is struggling against. So it'll be cool to see if the defense changes for this game in particular. Pops brought up, you know, it's maybe there's a game coming up maybe where we don't switch at all. I think this might be that game, because those are guys that aren't taking you off the dribble one-on-one. And Kelsey's offense, there's a lot of movement in his offense to get these guys open, but not a lot of movement to get to the rack. They sub size off the bench. They don't really start their size, but they sub it off the bench. So, and defensively, I don't think they do anything defensively that scares me for this team. So I think it's a game we should win, especially if they're down Michael Brown. That's a big advantage for us. Regardless of Brown or not, we're still better than Louisville. We should win that game, but it's a top ACC team at home. It's going to be a tough game, and it's going to be, it's that's a difficult game to win. So let's see. We've already gone on the road against Michigan State. We went on the road against Army. I think we we got our road chops a little bit. So I don't think we're going to be afraid of the moment.
Tennessee,
especially having just come off the road at Tennessee and then against Florida State. I don't think we'll be afraid of the moment. It's just a matter of, do we take advantage? Do we take advantage of our advantage in this game? And will we see a switch on that defense where, no pun intended, will we see a switch on the defense where we're kind of staying home more? Because I think if you do that against this team, kind of like Stanford did, you put them in a bad spot because they're smaller guards, tougher than to shoot over the bigger defenders.
Yeah, Pops, talk a little bit about this game, and then we'll get into a couple predictions.
First of all, no, I'm just playing. So I think the biggest thing about this game is we're gonna have to play transition defense, man. Because Louisville, they play fast, they want to get the ball up fast, and they want to shoot threes. They want to put that ball up as fast as possible. So in transition, they are firing threes. And obviously, we got an advantage if Michael doesn't play because I know he's on the hunt for, especially for Duke. You know what I mean? That's a personal thing for him in Duke.
That's a storyline.
They're top 5 in 3-point attempted and made.
Yeah. And
they shoot. That's what they do is they shoot.
FSU is number 2 in the nation for attempts, 3-point attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State.
Are they Fuller State was? Because I'm
number
talking about
2 in the nation. They shoot 35.2 3-pointers a game.
Yeah. So then, and Louisville's right behind them at 34.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not too far behind them. They're at like 31 or some 30 or something like that.
They're number 5 in the nation.
It's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. But I just think the front court is really what was gonna be the story here. Because Louisville, they have, they start to not so athletic bigs. And our bigs aren't like extremely athletic or anything, but they're just better. You know what I'm saying? Cam is better than Sinandra Frew. Big Pat is better than what's the big Egyptian kid? Khalifa.
You talking about Khalifa?
He's better than him.
Yeah.
So as long as, as long as we could keep those guys in check, we'll be good, because I'm not so much worried about them going off for like 30 or whatever. But what can worry me sometimes is I'm telling you, man, Pat Kelsey he be drawing up some fire.
He does.
He know how to get a bucket. He know how to get a bucket
sharp.
For sure. You know what I mean? So Duke is going to have to be very disciplined. Defense can't go missing because, the defense go missing, they'll be down 15 quick. You know what I mean? Because Louisville just hit, and they playing at Louisville, right?
Yep.
So, that crowd, they're going to be super hyped. They want revenge for the last 3-4 years that we done smoked them. So, they got all the bulletin board material they need. They got all the motivation they need. Now it's just time to play the game. But Duke by 100. That's my prediction.
DH, I'll give you a chance here. Talk about this game real quick, and then obviously give us a prediction here.
Yeah, man. I think it all depends on which Duke shows up. I am choosing to believe that this team has watched its last 3 games and personally wants to prove it can play better than that. I watched Isaiah with Bill Raftery after the game, and I think there's an understanding amongst the locker room that this team has another gear to get to. I think they all know that, and I don't think this team is the one that you have to prove that to. I think they knew that coming off the court. And so for me, it's about, without extended practice, can they make the adjustments from game to game from a maturity standpoint, right? Because that's going to be beneficial in March in either tournament. And so I think if Duke makes the necessary effort adjustments, particularly on the defensive end, I don't worry. I think Duke can win this game, particularly without Michael Brown, because Michael Brown is, at least 8 to 10 points swing either way. He's that good. Particularly because he's the one guy that can take you off the dribble and punch on your tallest guy. He can. And that's on like 8 to 10 points either way, right? But I would dare say that in a game like this, because of the internal storylines, because of the game within the game, maybe personal things that might be motivating for him in this kind of a game. Without Michael Brown, I think Duke should win by 8 to 9 or 7 to 9 points. I'll take a 9-point win, 81 to 72.
All right, Jack.
Something like that.
All right, Jack. This is your squad, so you know them better than anybody.
Never. Never.
What do you got?
Soundboard.
All right. So Louisville, 5 of their best 6 players are guards.
They are.
I think this is something that does cater I just tried to say very and relatively at the same time. Relatively, it caters relatively well to Duke's defensive strengths.
Mhm.
I think and hope that Duke's backcourt defense will be able to hold down the fort as it has, even as the defense as a whole has faltered. And I also trust John and Dildy and Carawell and Ty to and Brad's to make all the changes needed, the adjustments needed.
Mhm.
I do think this is going to be a telling game for the defense more than anything, like everyone else said. I mean, I'm saying everything I'm saying, assuming that Brown is not playing, because it doesn't look like he will from everything I've heard.
Mhm.
It's a back injury, right?
Yeah,
I believe
lower
so,
back
and
injury.
that's pretty
That's a
significant.
rough one. That's a tough one. Yeah.
Like Michael Porter Jr. had one of those. He played 2 games the entire season. So I will also say their leading scorer, it's Conwell, and he's a dog. He's going to be a tough cover for whoever ends up with him as the assignment. I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a 7-ish point game. I'm gonna say 84-77 Duke.
All right,
It's gonna be a hell of a good game though.
Yep.
Louisville will try. I think they're going to get up early on us, as is customary for a John Shire team. I think they're going to get up early on us. They're going to pull our bigs away from the basket with their guards. They're gonna make Cam guard in space. They're gonna make Pat guard in space and test them out and see if they can make that work. I think they can make that work. It's just a matter of, what are we giving up on the backside of that? I'd definitely like to see us on that help side do better than we have the past couple of games. But you know what I mean, this is gonna be a very good test for Caden and Caleb, because defensively they're gonna be tested and they're gonna have to go to the other end and play offense, which they should be able to do against this team. Defensively, they don't scare me one bit. They turn the ball over a lot. Not that we take advantage of turnovers anyway, but if there's any game we can take advantage of turnovers, it's this one. I think it's gonna be back and forth throughout this entire game. Probably with Louisville leading large amounts of it, but I do think that we will put ourselves back in position to win this game. I do think we win this game. I don't think we lose it. And I'd say we win by 5, 85 to 80. They're gonna score a lot of points on us. I don't think our defense is ready yet. I think they're gonna score a lot of points on us.
Yeah, I agree with most of that, AC. I think that they're going to come out here and get out early, knock down a bunch of shots. The center will be going crazy. But Duke's no stranger to big comebacks in that building. We saw with Cam Reddish.
I just need the girl to do up the double birds of Joey Baker to be back. I need her back.
She didn't go home happy that night. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that they're going to come out, and I think we're going to be down something like 22-8 or something like that early. And I think we find a way to. I mean, that's when I could easily see that happening. Mm-hmm. But this team has found a way to continue to chip away and find ways to win, and I don't think this is going to be any different. So I do think it's going to be high scoring. Give me 88-83. I think it'll be high scoring. I mean, they average over 90 points a game for a reason. They're going to get a quarter of those in the first 4.5 to 5 minutes. Thinking that they can't miss, but everybody comes back down to earth at some point, and they will too. And so, and once we kind of settle in, it's not going to be like the Duke team with Austin Rivers when we go to Ohio State and just get crushed. I don't see this team getting crushed. I don't think that it's in their DNA. Right. So, so 88-83 is what I got, and then we come home. When is it, Saturday? The 10th, is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Saturday.
Playing against the SMU team that was our second favorite team.
I love SMU.
Our second favorite
as of right now, yeah.
Listen, man, that boy Boopy.
Saturday, we appreciate what they did for us.
Kevin Miller.
There were some filthy moves that SMU was putting on them. I'll just give a quick prediction. I think we're back home. I think we find a way to win that game as well. I think that'll also be high scoring, but I think we'll have a little bit more of a cushion at home. So give me 84-75. Jack?
Look, this is an SMU team that is absurdly efficient inside the three-point line. If Duke can keep them on the perimeter, where they are, I'm not going to say significantly less efficient because honestly they're not, but I am going to say they are less efficient. If Duke can keep them shooting bad shots and taking a lot of threes, a lot of contested threes specifically, that's what you need to do. I think Duke wins this game. I think Duke wins this game pretty easily if they can do that. I'm going to say probably 87 to 73.
Ooh.
Again, if you make them take bad shots that don't favor them, like look, Yigidoglu doesn't really average that much scoring wise, but he's a good player. He's their big guy.
Really good offensive rebounder.
Yeah, as long as you keep him, as long as you keep him away from the hoop and you keep the team as a whole on the perimeter, you can win that game pretty easily. That's my take.
All right, DH, what do you got?
I would love to believe that in the course of 2 games after these last 3, Duke would have figured something out for Boopie Miller. I don't think we would have had it all the way figured out by that point in time. And so for that reason, I don't think it's going to be as comfortable as maybe Jack does. Listen, I'll take it. But I would probably say Duke is probably going to win that game. I can see it being closer than me being comfortable with. So I'd say like a 7-point win, maybe 84-77, something like that. I think Duke, I don't worry about Duke scoring, to be honest with you. It's just that defensive end and how well Shire is going to put them in position to be successful with all the talent that they have and length that they have wingspan wise on the floor. And I think it's going to take a little while to get there.
All right, AC, what do you got?
Like I said, I love SMU, not just because they beat UNC. I think they're a really good basketball team. They're a tournament team.
Enfield is a great coach.
Andy Enfield is awesome.
Him. He's doing a great job there.
I love what he's done with that roster. They don't have many weaknesses. Like a team like that scores a lot in the 2, you think, okay, well, they're not efficient from 3. They still shoot 36% from 3 as a team. They just don't do it in high volume. They rebound really well. They offensive rebound really well. They get a lot of assists. A lot of their buckets are off assists. It's not just Boopie Miller, one-on-one. I think a guy like Boopie Miller, a lot of times what you see to disrupt guys like that is a lot of switching. So I think this might be a game where we see the switching come back to kind of counteract what he does. But then Deron Pierre is right there. He also averages almost 20 points a game. The guy's so good. And then defensively, man, they got B.J. Edwards. Like this, it's going to be a tough night for Zay. I have a feeling that B.J. Edwards is going to be in his jersey most of the night. He was one of the best defenders in the ACC last year. He's one of the best defenders again this year. I like SMU a lot, man. It's going to be a tough game. This is going to be a very difficult game to win.
It's going to be a big Cam game, I think.
The ACC is so much better. I'm tired of hearing that the ACC is trash. The ACC
is good again.
If you're looking at the bottom 9 teams in the league, because we have 18 damn teams in the league, then sure, that's trash or whatever. But the top 10 teams in the ACC,
can
play
all
those
go.
Teams, you will have trouble that night. Like it's not going to be an easy. You're just going to come out with a victory type thing. So, and then you get a Glue's awesome. They got 2. You got a freshman and sophomore big off the bench that helped them with the bench depth there. So now you get a Glue's not by himself like he was last year. This is a much improved team. I really like and SMU was decent last year. Thankfully, this game's not on the CW like it was last year. This is gonna be tough, man.
Oh God, that was so bad.
I think honestly,
rough.
the way
no disrespect to Mike Jaminski, that guy is a dog. He follows me on Instagram. Great dude.
I think this is a game that will be lower scoring. Honestly, I think that's the best bet is to not make this a high scoring game because if you get into a track meet with them, then it's gonna be a long night.
Not winning a track meet.
I think you force them deeper into the clock than they want to be. They want to be within 10 seconds of the clock. I think you push them to like that 15-20 second mark on the clock. It's gonna make them a little uncomfortable. So I say we do that, and I say we get out with like a 72-69 win, but it's not gonna be easy to do that. That's hard to do on that team because they want to run and they're gonna do everything they possibly can to run.
All right, Pops, you got the last word here. What does Duke need to do in the next 2 games?
Just stay connected, man. Stay connected, especially on defense. You know what I mean? Have each other's back, cover up for each other. Man, they just play Duke basketball, man. Cover, like, you have to have each other's back. Bottom line, especially when you're playing against a team that wants to play fast and shoot a ton of 3-pointers. You know what I mean? They just got to cover each other, man. That's all that comes from. You know what I'm saying? That's all it comes down to. You know, they just got to act like. Never mind. I was about to say something crazy, but anyway. But
Hey,
yeah,
Pop, there's a certain 3 words you haven't. I don't think you said on the show this year.
3 words.
Look at
Check
the
the
screen.
screen.
Oh, just fucking win, bro.
Mhm.
That's all we gotta
Yes,
do.
sir.
All we gotta do. I don't even care
Yes,
what.
sir.
I don't
Waiting
care
for that
how
like a
we
floor
do it.
slap.
I don't care how we do it. We just gotta win, bro. Like I'm telling you, we cannot keep blowing all these rotations and shit, bro. Like
Yeah.
we have to cover for each other, bro. They have to act like. Never mind. I'm telling you, man.
I want to know what he wants to say.
I'm
bro.
trying to
Pablo,
be-
that's growth.
Nah,
Pablo, that's growth, man. I
I'm
see
trying to
you
be
working
better,
on yourself,
man.
brother.
Leave it alone.
I see you working on yourself, brother.
I'm trying to be better, man. You know what I'm saying? Just think about, you know what I'm saying, how there's a certain set of files we still haven't seen.
Come on, man.
You know what
It
I'm
was going
saying?
so well. It was going well.
I'll leave it alone. But yeah, they just got to cover for each other, man. Just have each
Yeah.
other's back. They got to communicate. And we got to get the ball inside, bro. We have to get the ball inside.
Yeah.
Get the ball inside and punish these guys. Bottom line, you know what I mean? Punish them. You know, Boopy Miller, he's going to do what he do. He's going to go for the home run play almost every single time. I'm not worried about what he's talking about. I'm more worried about Pierre than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Because he could really go off. 6'5", athletic guard who could really score the ball. So if we keep those guys in check, keep that backcourt in check, we'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Keep the big guy off of the boards, off the offensive rebounds. We'll be fine. I mean, have we gotten out rebounded yet?
Yeah.
Against Texas Tech, right?
Texas Tech, yeah.
Texas
I think that
Tech,
was the
but
only game we got
torched.
out rebounded,
We
right?
torched Georgia Tech on the boards. That's the reason why we won
How
the
was it
game.
against FSU?
Let's find out.
I know we out-rebounded
31-24 in
FSU.
Duke's favor.
What was it?
31-24 in Duke's favor.
I think the only game we lost in the rebound battle in was Texas Tech.
I'm
believe.
pretty sure that's it. Yeah.
I'm checking.
Sounds
right
right to
now.
me.
We stick to the basics and do what we
I
do.
think
Yeah, it
Michigan
was
State got us.
30-29
Michigan State got us
Texas
by
Tech.
1 as well.
Oh shit.
That don't even count. But anyway, we just got to
Florida
win.
definitely got us by 11.
Florida
Florida
out-rebounded us.
definitely got.
Yeah, pretty significantly, yeah.
They got a lot of offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
that were
Florida
kinda
had 20
crazy, though.
offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
there were some crazy offensive rebounds, though. Like, you know,
Mhm.
because of the shots that they were forced to take. Like, those kind of things, like, they don't really bother me. It's the
Mhm.
consistent offensive rebounds that you
It's
should
the rebounds within 10 feet of the hoop.
Yeah.
But
That's
not
what
only that, I
matters.
need to start tracking again the points after rebound too, because
Yeah,
that was a big stat for the team last
back.
year.
That was
I need to
huge.
bring that back because
the other-
that really that helped tell a different story of what that rebounding. Because even though we might have got rebounded in some games, we took advantage of those buckets. We were able to take advantage of those buckets, and like Bob's saying, this team can do that if they play inside a little more. I would like this game to be a non-development game. Like, play this game like you play in the tournament. That's what I'd like to see these next 2 games. Like, play Louisville like you play in the tournament. Play
Yeah,
SMU like
this
play in the
week
tournament.
is going to be
We'll use
a
the
pretty
next week to
telling week.
develop. Yeah, this is get some. You gotta get wins. These are 2 teams that are going to be at the top of the ACC. Let's go ahead and get wins against them, and we'll develop later.
Yeah, and this isn't like Boston College and Notre
Syracuse.
Dame, Syracuse. I don't even want to say Pitt because Cape's still a
a
brotherhood guy.
little worried about my man over there. But look, we have 2 big games coming up this week. We're right in the heart now of ACC conference season. Conferences are. 5 Point Play Podcast is ready to roll. We're going to be here every single week as we always are. Got some encores coming for Coach's
Let's
Corner.
go Duke, baby. Let's go Duke.
Ready to roll. You know where to find us, Jack. Tell everybody.
Thank you guys, as always, for tuning into the 5 Point Play podcast. You know where to find us. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, of course. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, what are you doing? We got some great content over there. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We got a free Patreon and a premium Patreon. Both of them have really good stuff and some really cool stuff dropping in the not-too-distant future, so please keep an eye on that. Discord, access to the Patreon as well. Any questions, you can always email us, 5pointplaypodcast@gmail.com. If it's something for a mailbag, we might talk about it on the podcast. You guys know what it is, though. As always, we'll see you next time, and let's go Duke.
Let's go Duke.
Let's go, Duke.